Hi, biology students. You have reached the last lesson for quarter four. Congratulations, and thank you for figuring out distance learning, struggling along with me, and doing the best that you could. The last few lessons after today will be for catching up, redoing the assessments or any assignments so you can get the highest grade you possibly can for quarter three and for quarter four. This last lesson is called Punnett square practice. There will be two Punnett squares. Example one I will do, and you can copy it down on Notability or in your notebook. And then example two you will do by yourself and copy it down on Notability or your notebook or a Google Doc, whatever you choose, and you'll submit both of these. So one I will give to you, I'll work with you during this video, and the second one you will figure out on your own, and that'll be it for your last assignment. Just a reminder, a Punnett square is to try to figure out what the babies or the offspring might look like. So it's calculating the probability, the percent chance. So to do this, we have our example one. It says that brown fur is dominant over white fur. We remember that word dominant means capital letter. So we know that brown is dominant, white is the other word is recessive. So what we're going to do is list the genotypes for brown fur. All right, so I'm going to choose any letter. It doesn't matter the letter. I'm going to choose B because that's the first letter of brown. So if you have brown fur, we know that you need a capital letter. So my genotypes have to have a capital letter in it. So I'm going to put a capital B, and the second letter could either be a capital or a lowercase. So there's one genotype, two capitals, two dominant. The second one, our second choice, is one capital and one lowercase. Both of these will give you brown fur because it doesn't matter if you have two dominants, two capital B's, or one. Both of these give you brown fur. On the other hand, there's only one genotype for the recessive white fur, and that's our third and final choice, two little B's. Okay. Direction number 3 says, make a Punnett square crossing. That means just putting together a homozygous dominant rabbit with a homozygous recessive. So right away that word dominant should make us think capital. That word recessive should make us think lowercase. Homo, if you remember, means same. So a homozygous dominant, same dominant, means the two letters need to be the same. They both need to be capitals or dominants. Homo, same, recessive means both letters are the same. They're both lowercase, both recessive. It doesn't matter which one goes on top and which one goes on the side because you'll get the same answers no matter what. But I'll just put the first one, two big B's, here. And the two recessive or lowercase on the side. All right, so if you remember from last lesson, all you need to do to fill in our 4 boxes is look at what's on top and what's to the side. But I always put the dominant or the capital first. When you take math and you do a strategy like this, that might be different, but for biology and Punnett squares, put the capital first. There's my big B. There's my little b. Can you figure out what the other 3 boxes will look like? Capital, lowercase, lowercase, capital, lowercase. What do you notice? All 4 boxes are the same genotype, the same letters. So our next question says, what are the possible genotypes of the offspring? Include the percent. So I'm just going to write whenever you do this step, so when you do your practice, you're going to write down all 3 genotypes, even if they didn't show up in the boxes. All right. What's the percent chance or probability that the babies would have 2 big B's? Do you see any boxes that have 2 big B's next to each other? If not, then we would write 0%. What's the percent chance of big B, little b in all 4 boxes? There's 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 4 boxes. So that gives us 100% chance. How about, I did a typo there, 2 little b's. Any boxes with 2 little b's? There aren't any, so we would write 0%. So the last question says, what are the possible phenotypes? And if you remember from your vocab, genotypes are the genes. You always have these 3 choices. It doesn't matter what the letter is. It could be B, E, whatever letter of the alphabet you want to choose. But phenotypes are going to only be 2 choices. So to figure that out when you do this by yourself, you'll just look at the first sentence, the problem I give you. It says brown fur is dominant over white fur. So the choices, the variation in the rabbit is brown or white. So we wrote down that brown is dominant. That means that whenever you see a capital letter, it means the rabbit has brown fur. In order to have the recessive, you need to have the 2 lowercase letters. So if we look at our 4 boxes here, none of them have 2 little b's, and all of them have at least 1 capital. This is called heterozygous, when you have 1 capital and 1 lowercase. Hetero means different. So they're all heterozygous. They're 100% big B, little b, which means that 100% of our rabbits will have brown fur. And there's no chance, no probability at all that a parent with 2 big B's, homozygous dominant, and a parent with 2 little b's, homozygous recessive, would have a baby that has white fur. So that's it. You're done. So for you, For your last assignment this quarter, you will do example 2. I'll just read through it to make sure I can explain anything that you might find confusing. The example says, it is dominant to have unattached earlobes. And I put the letter E there so you can use E's for this example instead of B's. Complete a Punnett square for two heterozygous parents. Include the percent chance for each genotype and percent chance for phenotype. So just like we did for the example here, here's the percent chance for genotype, here's the percent chance for phenotype. The parents will be the same because it says two heterozygous parents. So you just have to remember what heterozygous means. I just said it a couple minutes ago or a minute ago. Writing one parent here, one parent here, fill in the boxes, genotype and phenotype percentage. If you would like more help, email. Otherwise, you can look at the video from last lesson where I go through another example of Punnett squares and submit both the one I did today and this one. You can write it on notebook paper, write it on Notability, or on a Google Doc, whatever you choose, and submit it. And please let me know if you have questions.